Thank you for tuning in to the Patricia Show, brought to you by Global Elite Media. Please press like and subscribe and share this audio with someone who you may think need it. Now, we're on this series called Seek the Truth. And my goal is to release profound information to you. Now, I don't know what's going on in the churches, but they have just gone to pieces. People are doing witchcraft. Ministers are doing witchcraft in the churches. One minister wanted to open up a marijuana farm and a dispensary to employ some of the young men in the church. This is a church that wanted to do that. Then somebody's church locked the people inside of the church until, this is the pastor, locked the people in the church until he was able to collect $40,000. He said he wasn't letting anybody out of that church until he could collect $40,000. Then you have preachers that's burying stuff that they get from Africa in the ground near the church, and they're told that they would get at least 1,000 members or more to attend the Sunday service. So that's just right out witchcraft is being used. What is going on? What is going on? You cannot tell me that you are a representation of God and you doing this type of stuff in church. Then this lady, several people are complaining that they tell you to give an offering in church and then they're going to bless you and you're going to receive a big blessing. One lady said that she never received any blessing. She didn't hardly have any money. She had to really struggle to come up with the money that she gave. I think she gave $1,000 or very close to it. When she didn't get anything in return or any blessing, she kept calling the pastor because she wanted her money back. Girl, ain't nobody giving you your money back because you should have known better. But a lot of people, I say that they should have known better, but a lot of people are doing that. The preacher is telling you that you're going to get a big blessing if you give a big donation or if you give a donation, period. And people are giving donation. I remember a ways back, my friend was telling me that he had went to this church with his wife. He had just moved here from Jamaica. And the preacher was saying that if the people in the church gave $10,000, they would really receive a big blessing. So his wife wanted to just give up this money. And he was saying, we don't have any money to give that up. Hey, if we get $10,000, that's a blessing right there. If we even have that. But the wife was just really arguing about it. She wanted to really give this money. So he didn't want to do it. The wife actually came up with the money, gave the money. They still didn't get no blessing or anything else. These people are in the church doing these things to get money. There's one podcaster that comes on YouTube and he got into a misunderstanding or whatever it was with his another pastor who was teaching him. So when him and the pastor broke up, the pastor came out and told how this man was living in a 1-bedroom apartment. He didn't have any money and he was really struggling financially until he started his podcast on YouTube. So now he's saying he's a minister. He collects money on YouTube And now he's saying he's a millionaire. So, I think he first started in 2016. And now he's a millionaire from collecting money online from these people and then investing it into businesses and things. What are you people doing? You're just giving these pastors your money because they say what? They're close with God, because they say they prophets of God. They tell you a little prophecy. There's one pastor that be calling people, asking for $2,000, $4,000. He'll take $60 because he'll start up at $2,000 and keep reducing it till he hit a number where you can afford to give. And then he'll tell you to, you're going to get blessed for giving this money. He have somebody call you and give you a prophecy. And then you're sitting there waiting on your blessing and it never comes. Why are you people giving them money? Because somewhere in your psyche, you're trying to be close to God so badly till you're not really checking these people out because they say they're close to God or they're prophets or they're whatever. You just automatically believe them, think you're going to get a blessing through them. I said this a while ago. These prophets that's coming out, giving you prophecy. You don't need that anymore. Prophets, you don't need prophets anymore because people are able to go to God themselves and get information yourself. It is not a special gift that you have to be able to connect with God and get a message. That's not a special gift. That is your divine birthright. And because it's your divine birthright, it comes natural to you. I was telling a friend, he was asking me about when he was going to get married and all this stuff. And I said, why don't you sit down in the quietness? And I was telling him, focus your attention inside of yourself and ask these questions. You might not get the answer right away, but sit every day until you get the answer. You'll get the answer. And he said to me, I don't have that special gift to do that. And it dawned on me, this is what everybody thinks, that you have to have a special gift to connect with God. But that is what Jesus taught. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven within, and all things will be added to you. So Jesus told you, seek the kingdom within. Go within yourself, connect with that divine light of God, and ask whatever you want to ask. Ask God to teach you whatever it is you need to teach. He needs to teach you, or whatever, whatever the communication you're trying to do with God. It's not a thing where you have to be gifted to do that. It is your divine birthright. So you don't need a prophet to tell you anything. All you need to do is connect to God and get the prophecy directly from God. But you don't believe that. And you don't understand it and you don't know it. So I'm about to tell you how you can test. In the Bible it says test the spirit by the fruit that it bears. So in other words, you have to test that minister or whoever's coming to you by what they're producing. So now, how do you know somebody who is I'm going to call it a representative of God. I'm not going to say a prophet, even though these people are saying they're prophets, they're messengers. Everybody say that. Every church you go to, if you go to a church, or every prophet that say they're a prophet, they all going to say they're a messenger of God, or they're a prophet or messenger or whatever. But this is what I'm going to tell you. If the person is truly a representative of God, I'm going to put it like that. God is light. You all should know that. Light and love. God is light and love. So if you're a representative of God, then you should know about the light. Because if God is sending you to be his representative, surely he's going to teach you about the light, because that God is light. So God's not going to have you being his representative and then you don't even know about his light. That doesn't even make sense. That's to say that you're let's say you're a perfume, you sell perfume, and then you have your salespeople going out selling the perfume. They're going to have your perfume, know about your perfume, know how to use your perfume. They're gonna have some information about your perfume before they go out to represent the perfume. How can they represent it? How can they represent you and they don't know anything about the perfume you sell? They're not being a good representative now, are they? No. So if the person is a representative of God, in any way they say they're a prophet, minister, whatever they say, we're just using the word representative of God. That means that they know about the light. They know how to bring in the light. They could teach you about the light. They know about the light. So that's how you're going to know from this day on. If a minister who is preaching and telling you that he or she is a representative of God, if they can't teach you or tell you or bring in the light of God, then you know they're lying. They are not a representative of God. I'm telling you. If they're a representative of God, they're going to be able to tell you how to go in and bring this light in. I've told you about the light, but I want to tell you a little bit more about the light. This light, when it surrounds you, it's going to draw good to you. So these preachers don't need to be asking for your money. If they're really a representative of God, they're going to be surrounded with this light, and this light is going to automatically bring them money and all good opportunities. It's going to make the church flourish. They're just going to have a lot of, good luck. Because that is what that light is. It's God. So basically, you're bringing God in. If you're a representative of God, you think God is not going to teach you how to bring in his power? It's going to teach you because you're representing it. So why would it not teach you? You are my representative. So I'm going to teach you about this light, how to bring in the light, and how to show other people how to bring it in. If they cannot tell you anything about this light, they are not a representative of God. So this is what you're going to be looking for in the future. If any prophet, minister, pastor, preacher, bishop, whatever, if they tell you, I am anointed by God, and they don't talk about the light, don't know nothing about the light, and can't even bring in the light, and look at you strange when you talk about the light, they are not of God. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't believe in God. Maybe they do believe in God. But you told me that you're a representative. You told me you're a prophet. Therefore, you should know how to use the light. Now, if I know how to use the light, that means I'm going to tell you how to use the light, how to bring in the light so that you can experience God's blessing. So you just can't tell people, give me 5,000. If you give me 5,000, God is going to bless you. Because you ain't even close with God. But if you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to show you how to bring in God's light so that you can receive a blessing. And then when you receive that blessing, then you could come back and give me a blessing. That's the way somebody who's following God, who's a messenger of God, that's how it should be. So remember, if the person doesn't know anything about this light, God's light, they are not of God. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Patricia Show. My name is Patricia. Have a good week.